Thank you for that lovely Thank you, Talk Shop, for having me and allowing me to be here this morning. Joe, okay?
I'm going to get you where we're looking at your face instead of your back.
You said I'd have about 3 hours. I could talk for 3 hours about real estate, but I'm not. Obviously, don't want to keep you here that long. Thank you for the lovely introduction. As Lynn said, my name is Kevin Perk. I've been in real estate for 20 years. I can't believe that. I've been investing here in the Memphis area in single-family dwellings and in small multifamilies and things like that for about 20 years now. Of course, I've got to wear these and look at my notes and see what's going on. Part of the advantage of being in real estate for 20 years, it wears you out a little bit. I want to talk to you about real estate because real estate changed my life. I've heard several folks in here who are obviously involved in real estate, and they're probably going to parrot a lot of the things I said. But I was basically able to retire in my late 40s. That's the power of real estate, and that's what real estate did for me. Okay, as Lynn said, I used to be planning director of Fayette County, so I was kind of in real estate, okay, just on a different side of it. And, you know, I grew up nondescript, middle-class household. My dad was the first one in the family to go to college, and he got out of college and went to work for the United States Navy, and that's what he did all of his life. So that's what I was kind of trained as, you know, you go to school, and you work hard and you get a job, and that's what you do, and you retire. And I went to school. I mean, I've got 4 college degrees. So I got that, okay? I figured out how that works, okay? But the first day I went into work and sat down at my desk and got over that little bit of excitement of having my first job, I went, oh my God, I got to do this for 30 years? Come in here every day from 8 to 4 and give my time to this and do this? There's got to be a better way, right? And real estate was the better way. That's what I figured out. One of the things that got me started just happened to be watching a show on PBS years ago called The Cash Flow Quadrant. Has anybody ever heard of that? Yeah, you have. And if you've never read this book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I would highly recommend you do that. Okay? This guy will get you thinking differently about how money works and how your money can work for you. Okay? And that's key because you really have to start to think about how money works and what it does and how it can work for you to achieve whatever goals you happen to be, which mine was, I don't want to sit behind this desk for 30 years. Okay? There's got to be some other way to go about doing this. So by coming here today, I hope to get you thinking a little bit differently, maybe get you wanting to go out and invest in real estate, and tell you a little bit about what you can do. With the short time I have, I can't go into it in much detail, but we'll go there anyway. So let me tell you about why real estate first. There's several reasons why I think real estate is great. The first is because I think investing in real estate is fun. Okay? It's fun. You know, you probably have heard folks come out and talk to you about, you got to find your passion, do whatever, make it fun. Well, okay, real estate's fun. To me, going out and trying to find various properties to purchase is fun. Looking for them is fun. It's almost like being a private investigator. Going out and finding various things. A couple of you are shaking your heads because you've done this, right? Okay, you start, you know, it's like when you decide you want to buy a particular brand of car, let's say a red BMW or black BMWs, you know, before you never saw them, but once you train your mind, you see black BMWs being driven all over the place. Okay, even walking around in the snow the other day, I was looking at properties and it's like, well, there's no snow tracks going to and from that house. I bet that one's vacant. Oh man, I love the snow. My family's from Quebec, so I mean, you know, it was just Thursday. Okay. So, Stayed home. Well, yeah. The ice was the bad part. That was bad. Snow was cool. I mean, how often do we get 7 inches of snow?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, you start to look for things like, man, there's no tracks going to that house, or the snow is still on the roof. That means there's no heat running. Maybe you make a note of that. Okay, you start to look and see that sort of things. You become a private investigator, and that's fun. You have to become an investigator to find the owner. Owners can hide and get lost, and it transfers. Okay, crazy things like that. Trying to find, trying to find these folks. Okay, that's fun for me. Going to see the properties is fun for me. When you find one that you like, being able to go in and seeing it, calling a realtor like Sherry, hey, I want to go look at this listing you have. And then you go in and you're like, man, did they really think painting the walls bright red was going to be a good idea? Maybe they were Arkansas fans. I don't know. Did they really think putting a toilet in the middle of the bedroom was a good idea? I've seen that. Okay. And you just have to kind of go around it. When it's fun because when you get in real estate, you kind of open the doors into people's lives and you see how people were living. And it's amazing out there. It really is. But it's kind of fun to get through and see that. It's fun to watch a deal come together. It's fun to watch the pieces sort of move and coordinate. Those of you who have been involved in a real estate closing when it works. Okay, it's kind of fun that all of that kind of comes together. And it's really fun when you see a property brought back. Okay, and when you see a house that was dilapidated, made new, and you put a family in there, move in, or you take a rundown apartment complex, get it going, and get good tenants in there. Okay, how many have heard the city of Memphis talk about blight? Guess who's fixing the blight? Okay, it's people like us. Okay, it's people like us. All right. We're the ones out there finding these properties and getting them fixed up. And yeah, there are owners that get in, like you said, you have a turnkey, they don't know what they're doing. Okay. And we can come in and try to fix that. Okay. But it's fun to watch these things come back. I bought a beautiful old house, not an older house, in a great neighborhood in East Memphis, and the neighbors were just like, oh, I bought this, finally somebody's going to take care of this thing, because the grass was this high and it was just, it was a disaster. You've all seen them. You're like, why isn't somebody doing something like that? Well, we're out there looking, trying to find it. It's fun to try to get that. So keep that in mind, that it's fun to get in real estate. More important, I think, real estate gives you 5 financial benefits. Now, I don't think there's any other investments, I'm sorry, but any other investment out there that gives you so many financial benefits. And let me tell you a little bit about what they are. First, you get cash flow or a rate of return. Okay. Your tenants, if you do a buy and hold an apartment type property or a house that you're going to rent out, your tenants are going to pay your mortgage, they're going to pay your insurance, they're going to pay for the repairs, and they're going to put food on your table. Okay. They're going to pay you a little bit for putting all of those various parts together and providing them with a quality place to live. Okay. That is what you do. That is what you get paid for. Okay. You do that enough and you can move on. You get awesome federal tax benefits from owning real estate. There is this wonderful thing called depreciation that just will take income off of your bottom line. Okay, there is not another investment out there I know. Okay, if you want to reduce your income, depreciation will do that. Plus, you may or may not know, all that income coming in from rental income is classified as passive income by the IRS. It's not passive in real life, because I'm telling you, you got to work to get it. Okay, but passive income, does anybody know what that means?
Sit back and collect.
You sit back and collect, but from a tax benefit, there's no FICA or Social Security tax paid on that. Okay, so you don't have to pay that. Now, you as a realtor, when you get a commission, 30% is gone. Okay, yeah, 30% is gone. Not with rental income. Okay. Third benefit, so those are 2. Third benefit, you get to leverage other people's money. OPM, other people's money. Don't use your money. Use other people's money. Borrow from Joe, this guy. Okay, they're gonna help you, 15 minutes. You said I had 3 hours. Um, other people's money. You can't do that with stocks. I don't think you're gonna give me a loan to go buy some stocks, okay? But you are gonna give me a loan to go buy this house, okay? And get money, and the tenants will pay you back. You know, you can do that with these elderly folks here. If they can't help you, you can go out and find people like me. There are people in this room, I bet, who have money who would lend. Okay, I have never met some of my lenders because they're in other states. We've talked on the phone, of course, and that sort of thing, but face to face, no. And they'll do 100% end of the deal. You're free to work out however you want. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. It really is. Okay. 4, you're paying your principal down. If you get a loan every month, you're putting a little bit more equity on your balance sheet. If you don't do a personal balance sheet, you need to do a personal balance sheet to see where you are. Every month, you're adding a little bit more in there. Okay, don't do that with stocks either. And you get appreciation. Okay, are we in a high inflationary market these days? Yeah. You know, I'll just show you a quick example. We're not as bad as some people, but you know, I could give this away today and make you a $10 trillion investor. Okay, this is the Bank of Zimbabwe. Everybody heard of the country of Zimbabwe? They inflated and inflated $10 trillion. It's a real bank note. Okay, imagine you worked all your life, you saved, okay, and you put, oh, I don't know, you thought I got $1 million in the bank. Well, you know what $10 trillion would buy you in Zimbabwe at the height of this? You could barely get a cup of coffee. Where's your $1 million? Gone. Okay. No.
Wow.
Federal Reserve is absolutely no different from that. Okay? Buy something real with your cash. Real estate is real. You can go see it. You can go touch it. And the price is going to keep rising as they keep printing more dollars. I know everybody loved their COVID checks, but damn it, if you give everybody a bunch of money, this is what's going to happen. Okay? So anyway, you get all 5 there. Cash flow, federal tax benefits, leverage of other people's money, principal pay down, and appreciation, especially in an inflationary market like this. Okay. Real estate is also great because you get to choose your own rules. How you want to lend, you want to borrow from somebody in here, great, you can do that. Okay. You want to take some time to give a presentation in the morning to help others, you can do that. Want to sleep in, you can do that too. Okay. You get your time back. You get out there, okay? You want to teach a college course on the side, which I do. I got to go this afternoon to Dyersburg State and teach. That one is 3 hours. If you want to join that, you can do that. You want to work remotely from the beach, or these folks here, you can do that. I plan on doing that in the future. Want to get away from the HR department, forms, and all of this rigmarole, you can do that as well. You want more control over your life and your finances. That is what real estate is going to give you. Okay. I got my time back. I'm not sitting at this desk every morning going, how do I do that? That's what real estate was able to do. Yep, you can write your own rules, and especially with your own time. The only thing you have to remember in real estate, the main rule is that if someone can't afford it, they can have it. That is the one rule you have to remember. Okay, don't discriminate. Discrimination is wrong. They'll fine you, and it also ruins your business because you're not out there serving the market that's out there. If they can afford it, they can have it. That's what you got to remember. Okay. So, what do you need to do to get started in real estate? Joe and I have a great friend, Richard. What's his phrase? Do you know? Don't
wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate
and wait. Okay. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. You need to learn. That's the first thing. You need to learn about real estate, which is why people like me are here, and there's several other folks in this room who can teach you. It's like going back to school. There is a lot to learn about doing this. Probably a test. It's not easy just to go out and get doing it, but you can. It can be a little scary at first, but fear is just overcome with education. You can purchase a book, for example. Okay. Put my name in the Amazon search bar, and this will come up. It's $9. You come up. Fine, okay, 10 minutes, no problem. You can read my book. Joe, you still do the real estate show?
Yes.
Joe does the real estate show on the radio. Okay, you have groups like this. There's all kinds of resources out there. Podcasts. I heard him say he does podcasts. There's an investor here in town, Sam Wilson. He does a great podcast, How to Scale Commercial Real Estate. It's excellent. I have a podcast, smarterlandlording.com. I haven't updated it in a while, but it's there. Doug Skipworth, Dean Harris, they do How to Invest in Memphis Real Estate podcast. You're shaking your head. I listen to them. They manage probably 2,000 or 3,000 houses here in Memphis. And then
apartments and all.
yeah, okay. I listen to what they have to say. You know, they're little 10-minute things. You can just listen to them zooming around. Hear these things. That stuff starts to enter your head, and you start to change that mindset. You know, like I said, when you start reading different things. Join MIG, Memphis Investors Group. I was president of that. It's all real estate investors. It's $200 a year. That's the best deal you're going to find. Okay.
It got raised.
It got raised. It's something, but it's still cheap. Okay. Okay, it's going up in March. Sign up now. Okay, I used to be the president of that organization, so I will tout that. And you need to be able to talk shop with people in the group and real estate, because you're all just doing this on your own a lot of times. And you know, you need people to call and go, well, how do you handle this particular problem? Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody out there somewhere has figured it out, and you need folks to help you with that. Secondly, I would pick a place to farm. And by that, I mean, pick an area that you just become intimately familiar with. Find out, it could be where you live, it could be where you work, it could be where you drive to in between going to and from work. What are things selling for? What are things renting for? You need to know that, because if a deal comes along, you know, something that potentially is going to be a good investment, how do you know? Unless you know this area like the back of your hand. I can't keep the whole city in my head, so I keep a few areas in my head that I look. Pick a place to farm, pick a place that you're going to get intimately familiar. That's up to you. That's up to you where you want to go, okay? What are rents? What are prices? Price per square foot. You know, how do you know a good deal otherwise? And so get your mind ready to see a deal, because you never know where they're going to come from. Do you folks know that we have a Jewish newspaper in town?
Yes.
I didn't know that. One got misdelivered to my house. Being my curious mind, you know, my neighbors down the street supposed to get. Being my curious mind, what's in the Jewish newspaper? Sit on my porch and I just kind of flip it open, look at it. I'm going to walk it down to my neighbors, but I'm curious. So I'm looking. Well, right in there, there's an ad: house for sale, needs work, sell immediately. Well, damn, that's all the bells and whistles, right? I called that. I bought that house. Okay, all because a newspaper got misdelivered to my house. You never know where a deal is going to come from. That house was a wreck, but I fixed it up, made a pretty penny on it, had a double homicide. So it's stigmatized, but you know, that's the type of things we kind of look for, right? Okay. Start putting those numbers together. Practice, put those numbers together. What do you look for in a buy and hold in a rental property? You're looking at gross income. Okay, gross income, that's all the rents plus whatever other income, laundry you got there, Coke machine, something, all other income coming in there. Lots of people, realtors, will tout gross income, okay, but not the ones in here. They're of course going to tell you all of the story. But gross income, that's before the bills, folks. Okay, so don't go, oh wow, look, it's gross income. No, out of that gross income, you got to pay PITI, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. Okay, repairs, maintenance. That's about 10%, if not more. Vacancy credit. It's not going to stay rented 100% of the time. Budget about 10%. Losses there. Utilities, reserves. You got to put reserves in there. That roof that's on there, guess what? That's going to need to be replaced at some point. And it's going to cost $20,000. It just is. Okay? You need that money in a few years. You better be putting a little bit away every month. Possible management fee, etc. I would recommend, if you're starting out, maybe manage it yourself at first. So when you hire a manager, you understand how to manage them. Because just giving it to a manager and going, okay, I don't have to do a damn thing now. That doesn't work. Now you got to manage the manager. Okay. So, fix and flip, well, that's easy. Potential sales price less purchase price, repairs and expenses equals your profit. Okay, but you got to know what it's going to take to fix up. There are contractors in here. Okay, you got to know your expenses from closing costs, realtors, things like that. Okay, there are people in this group. Okay, in addition to reading my book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, etc., seems to be a lot of experience in this room that can help you if you want to do that. Josh, you were into it as well. You know what you're doing out there. So go start taking these action steps. Learn, pick a place to farm, practice with the number, make your first deal, and then rinse and repeat. Okay. If you can get one property where you're cash flowing $50 a month, you've done pretty good. You're paying all that other stuff and you're not writing a check to maintain the property. The check is giving you $50 a month. That's great. Now what if you get 10 of them? Suddenly you got $500. Okay. You see where this is going. All right. I got enough of them that I was able to take my job and go, all right, see you later. I'm good. All right. I'll just close here with a few tips, tricks, anecdotes, things like that you might know. I could talk all day about this sort of thing. Tenants, that's the big interesting part of real estate, dealing with tenants. I'm telling you, 95% of them are great.
Yep.
They're going to pay their rent. They're going to keep their head down. They're not going to bother you. It's that 5% that you have to work on. I've had a tenant throw their cigarette away in the trash can, burn the building down. Nobody got hurt, but it was also during the Cooper Young 4 miler, so there was 5,000 people out running around, all of that. Yeah. So what do we do? So it changes your screening criteria, right? It always goes back to your screening criteria usually. You can, where did I mess up? 3 minutes. Where did I mess up? Well, I don't allow smokers in my properties. Okay. You can discriminate against non-protected classes. You just can't do age, sex, religion, race, all those sorts of disability, okay, etc. Smokers, they're out. Lawyers, you don't want them. Why? I'm going to sue you. Not in my house, you're not. Okay. Okay. You don't have to rent to them. Okay. It always comes back to your screening criteria. Follow your screening criteria. Don't get this place rented. I'll let this slide a little bit. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen when you let that slide a little bit. It's going to come back to bite you right here. Okay. I've had tenants scream at me because they go off their meds. You know, all kinds of things. It's just part of it, but most of the time it's going to be great. Buying, you never know where they're going to come from. Foreclosures, I've had one where I'm working with a realtor on a foreclosure over here, put in an offer, $100,000 to buy this thing, and then the bank goes and forecloses on this side, okay? And then they immediately put it back on the market for $90,000. Well, okay, I'll buy it for $10,000 less, which I did. I don't know why. This one side of the bank versus the other side of the bank has no idea what's okay. It's just the way it is. Be ready for stuff like that. Be ready to just move with the way things go. I would tell you, and I've already alluded to this, you need to, if you're going to do this, find some coworkers that you can talk shop with, because you're going to need those. Come to groups like this. Join the Memphis Investors Group. Build your team. And there's several folks in here who seem to me would be great team members. Realtors, contractors, closing agents, lenders, etc. Right? People who are in the business doing this sort of thing. You can't do this on your own. Yeah, you can work out there on your own, but you need team members. Insurance is another big one that you're going to need. Okay, so use the resources of the group you have. With 1 minute left, I'll stop there. And do I take questions? Or
sure, go ahead.
Is that where we go? So I'll just leave it there. Thank you for letting me speak. I hope that was somewhat informative. Maybe I've lit the bug for you to get some real estate, and I'll be happy to take any questions, or if you have any, or whatever. Yes, ma'am.
That was great.
Thank you.
And it is important to have that team, because if you don't have a team, your family and friends will tell you you can't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They will, and that's one of the things.